We do want to get into another sports story, obviously one that happened overnight in New York City as New York Jets defensive back Kris Boyd is now in critical condition after being shot in the heart of the city. I do want to put up this here on Live Now from Fox from the New York Post, who had the initial reporting saying Jets cornerback Kris Boyd in critical condition after being shot early. He's in stable condition at Manhattan's Bellevue Hospital after sustaining a gunshot wound thereafter outside of a Midtown restaurant. We're also hearing more reporting from The Athletic talking about this critical but stable. The Jets said in a statement that the team is, quote, aware of the situation involving Kris Boyd and will have no further comment at the time. And these coming after a Thursday night game the Jets played, so they are not in a game today. One of his teammates on social media, Jermaine Johnson, posting this, saying, everyone, please send prayers to my brother and teammate Kris Boyd and his family. Lord, please help. Hold your healing hand over Kris and guide him back to health and safety. Lord, I ask you, please just get him through this safely in your name. Amen. So that coming in from Jermaine Johnson. I want to give you some more information about this and reporting from the New York Post talking about it as Boyd, the 29.
Yeah, but what's the son's name? Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nat, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying. Proverbs 30:4. Who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? You need to know the name of the Lord, especially if you're praying for something as simple as, not as simple, but is important as somebody that actually needs help. Proverbs 30:4, a series of rhetorical questions that ask who has gone up to heaven and come down, who has gathered the wind, who has wrapped up the waters, who have established all the ends of the earth. The verse concludes by asking, what is his name and what is the name of his son? Surely you know the verse functions as a riddle, pointing to God as the creator of all things, according to the Bible Gateway. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks about this. Maybe Chat knows Proverbs 30 verse 4 meaning. Maybe Chat AI can help Google, because they don't know the name. Okay, meaning, who have descended up into heaven or descended. Agar is asking who has full access to the heavens. This is pointing to the creator who alone goes up and down in dominion over the heavens. John 3 verse 13, no man ascended to heaven but the Son of Man who came down from heaven. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, Deuteronomy 30:12 verse 13, the idea of going up and down for divine understanding. Let's look at that precept. Deuteronomy 30 verse 12. Oh, I got some, I'm doing good with my Wi-Fi. I hate the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for this. Deuteronomy 30:12, it is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. That's right. Let's start at Deuteronomy 30:11. For this commandment which I command thee this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. That's right. Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Only the Most High controls the forces of nature. This is imagery showing absolute power, like holding the wind as if it were an object. Hold on. Only the Most High? But didn't he give power to his son to control the weather? When Jesus held back the winds, Mark 4 verse 39. Let's get that precept. Ultimately, it came through the spirit and power of Yahweh, but he gave Yahweh Shai this power to do so. Mark 4. And I start at 35. In the same day, when the even was come, he saith unto them, let us pass over unto the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship, and there were also with him other little ships. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. and he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? So clearly that's not just talking about the Most High, but that's talking about the Son also, who have gathered the wind in his fists. Psalms 135, 6-7. He brings the wind out of his treasuries. And that's Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. Ultimately, he gave that power over to Yahweh Shai. Amos 4, verse 13. He forms the mountains and creates the wind. Meaning breath, spirit, and wind. Who have bound the waters in a garment. The Most High contains the ocean, sets boundaries, and controls the waters. That's right. Job 38 and 8. Let's go there. Job 38 and 8. The whole book of Job 38, chapter 38, it goes into his power. Job 38, verse 8, or who shut up the sea with doors when it brake forth, or as it had issued out of the womb? When I made the cloud, and he did this during the Genesis period, where he opened up the floods. Let's see if they give that as a cross reference as Genesis 1 and 9. Nope, it should be Genesis something else though. When the Lord made it rain from above and below, KJV, Genesis 6, 2 and 6. But God made the firmament to separate the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which are above the firmament. No. I think it's Genesis 6. Let's see what comes up. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I can't think of the precept, but when the Lord flooded the earth and made water, he opened the heavens and opened the waters from underneath. Are you going to give me the Bible verse, please? Genesis 7 and 11, the water. Okay, let me grab this in another. Genesis 7 and 11. It says, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the seventh day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. Okay? Let's look this up. Describes the beginning of the great flood in the biblical story of Noah. It states that on the 17th day of the second month of Noah's 600th year, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. This was the start of the rain and underground waters that would flood the earth, beginning the 40 days and 40 nights of rain mentioned in the next verse. So it shows that he opened the heavens and water rain, and the bottom opened up the springs. Going back to Job 38 and 8, or who shut up the sea with doors? So he keeps the water at bay, but not, he controls the water, the water level, the rise and fall of the water level. When it break forth as it had issued out of the womb, when I made the cloud the garment thereof, in thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. That's right. Jeremiah, I think it's 44. No. Where he says, The Lord sets the boundaries of the water, KJV. Something in Isaiah. Isaiah 40 and 12. Let's go there. I think that's what I was looking for. Isaiah 40, verse 12. Who have measured the waters in the hollow of his hand and meted out the heaven with the span and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Isaiah 51:15. Find the Lord your God stirs up the sea so that it waves roar. No. I can't think of the precept. Let's try Isaiah 41 and 18. He's basically saying, I thought it was like 22, something about 22. I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valleys. No, that's not what I'm looking for. The Lord sets where the sea waters, the boundaries of the sea. No, it's Jeremiah. Jeremiah 5, verse 22. Do you not tremble before me, the one who set the sand as the boundary for the sea and enduring barrier it cannot cross? So the Lord controls that. That's the Most High God. That's talking about. But going back to Proverbs 30 and 4. What's his son's name, or what is his name? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Roughly, I just want to see what it's going to say. Who have established all the ends of the earth, only the Creator laid the foundations and set the borders of the earth. He created the heavens and the earth. Let's go down here. What is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Agar is showing that one with all this power has a name, and he also has a son with a name. That's right. This points prophetically to the Most High, YHWH, which is Yahweh, and his son, who later is revealed as Yahweh Shai. Okay? It's emphasized the power belongs only to the Most High and his son. These are two uniquely connected in authority. Now, I think I have ChatGPT speaking to me in a perspective that Israel, salvation is only for Israel. The name of the Lord, the way you interact with it, the way it is the way it interacts with you. That's why it's saying Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you might not get the same answer because you don't know the name of the Lord, but that's his name. That's what so going back to the dude who didn't know, in your name, amen, you praying for these things, and a lot of Israelites, they don't even know the name, man. And I'm just trying to share it.
9-year-old was shot outside a restaurant.
Because there's no other name in which a man shall be saved. I forgot what that precept said. There's no other name wherein a man shall be saved, KJV. I think it's Acts 4 to verse 12, right? I knew it was Acts, but I didn't know where. Acts 4 verse 12, man. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So you got to know the name of the Lord. You can't just be like, God help him. Nope. He's not hearing those types of prayers.
After a dispute turned violent with the gunman firing 2 shots. Kris Boyd is in his first season with the New York Jets after signing a 1-year, $1.6 million contract during free agency. He hasn't played yet, though, after suffering a season-ending shoulder injury in the preseason. A cornerback, he was a 7th-round pick to the Minnesota Vikings in 2019, spent 4 seasons with the Vikings before moving on to the Arizona Cardinals and Houston Texans before landing here with the New York Jets. He did play plays college ball at Texas. So Kris Boyd now in critical but stable condition after a shooting in the heart of New York City. Unsure exactly the circumstances around which this happened overnight from Saturday into Sunday. A live picture there at the Big Apple. And as I also noted, the Jets not having a game today. They played on Thursday night, a loss in New England. They're back in action next Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. But we're continuing to follow this closely here on Live Now from Fox.
Here in Mass.
So there you go. And I'm going to end it here. It was well. This was edifying. Shalom.